My name is Stephen Levine, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the culmination of this two-week intensive, the fourth annual Youth Exchange Project Summer Intensive. This organization, this was founded in 2017 by Shauna Pledger and Nisia Carlin, who's in the back there. It's been ever evolving for 4 years, and this is the second time we've been here at the Arts Factory. Thank you to Wonder World Productions who are allowing us to be here. And it's been a very intense 2 weeks. These students have been studying theater. They've been discussing issues of social justice and exploring all sorts of ideas, both personal and out in the world. And I look around and I see alumni here from past youth exchange projects, which is great. Andy and Eli are here who've done the program in the past. So every year they survive to tell the tale, and they come back to see what these students have created, which is really an amazing thing. I would like to take care of a couple of business things. Obviously, you see the fire exits on either side of you. Please make sure your cell phones are turned off at this juncture. After the show, if you didn't get a chance to peruse the displays that are out in the de facto lobby, please do so, because there's some really interesting stuff that the kids have created out there. I'd also like to draw your attention to this Venmo scannable QR code thing. The Youth Exchange Project is very fortunate in that we have received a grant from the Arts and Science Council to help underwrite this program, but obviously that's not enough. It never is. We are appreciative of them, but if you are so inclined to contribute financially to the future of this program, you can do so via Venmo. And also, we'd like to acknowledge the YMCA, who we partnered with for the first time this year and have been at the No Doll YMCA for the past 2 weeks. So thank you to them as well. That's all I have. Yeah. Anything I missed?
No, we'll remind them about the Venmo after.
Okay, good. I don't want them to forget about the Venmo.
Right.
Right. The Venmo is an important thing. All right. Thanks, everybody, and enjoy yourselves.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly.
All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird, singing in the dead of night.
Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free.
Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of a
Blackbird
dark black
fly,
night.
blackbird fly, into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of a dark black night.
Blackbird, singing in the dead of night.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly.
All your life, you were only waiting for this moment. You were only waiting for this all your life.
You were only waiting for this moment to arise.
All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Nishama,
Makai,
and Harper,
Melody, Darling,
Luke,
Dalton.
When you were born, how did you see the world?
Happy,
Whimsical, magical,
Colorful.
confusing,
abusing,
Because I just want to know. Now that you're older, can you remember some of the things your parents told you while you were growing up?
don't talk to strangers. Look when you cross the street. Be kind to those you meet.
Now, what if I told you that some children don't hear these things? Now you're thinking, well, duh, not everyone is raised the same. And to that I'll respond, yeah, you're right. Now I really have to think. Now you might understand what my message is about. Now you're going to ignore, roll your eyes, snore, maybe even realize, or you still don't get what I'm trying to say. So let me ask this, but don't respond. Just think. At a young age, were you told that not everyone is going to like you for the way you look? Were you told that people may hurt you for the way you look? That people may look the other way, hate, discriminate against you for the way you look? Now, were you also raised by someone who had to fight for you, cry for you, work overtime for you every day of your life, just so that there could be food on the table and a place to sleep? Because that's the reality for some people in this room. Because we're not just a scenario, a ratio, a number, a statistic that you can stare at, be surprised at for just 5 minutes, and now you're thinking about moving out with your family. What you should be thinking about is standing up, speaking up, showing up for those who need opportunities desperately. But that's not your problem, right? Not your business, your issue, because you're not experiencing it. I wish I could have the same paycheck, job, opportunities, experience as the next guy, but I can't. Because that's not the truth I was told. The truth we were told. We need to do better, a lot better, as a community, not just for you and me, because honestly, we're getting lazy, and I'm tired of feeling like a minority. Majority of humans is all we need, and integrity should be our number one priority. So, in all honesty, let's start making a change for the future. Don't let this message go out of your ears and fear what others might think. We need to make a change, so let's make it start today.
That was good.
Welcome to All Saints Day School. I'm Joanne. Are you ready? So over here we have our global diner.
The room really got the room together.
It does. Yes, we have 20 minutes to help. Oh, yes, we're very welcoming. See over there? That's our chapel where the Fellowship of Christian Athletes meet.
Welcome to Y.E.P, the news you want to hear. I am Jeanette Lamb. Starting with our headlines today, we have the paparazzi finally leaves celebrities alone. I bet you Britney Spears is relieved about that one. Also, political parties have been abolished, and Tupac has been found alive and well living. Stay tuned for the story.
It's just newly renovated. Um, Hello, last name? Jackson. Hey, oh, sweetie, it looks like you have a negative $15 balance, and that's over the limit. So, I can't let you take this unless you buy it. Hopefully, like eat the test like this month. I mean, my dad is tomorrow. I'm not going to I'm so sorry. The school expects me to follow the policy. We're gonna have to bring something from home. But you know, for today, you can ask a friend if they have something extra. Hey, wait a minute. No, 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 no. Yeah, okay, you guys can sit over there at the tables. And oh, by the way, we did get a new rug. It's genuine dodo bird feather. And I think it really ties with yeah. Thanks so much. Yeah. Eating was easy too. You know, most people lunch in the only all day but here. Yeah, I mean, wish my dad would four more things. Embarrassing was like little cakes and things like fun. My mom's a teacher and my dad is getting fired from every job he gets. So I've been through that. Don't be embarrassed. I think school should make it easier for students to get financial aid to help kids like us. Yeah, we're being discriminated because we don't have it. It's way too nice. I think we should talk to the headmaster or the principal about it. That's a great idea.
I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. I'm different. Yeah.
Everyone is different. We all have different brains, thoughts, values, and ideas on who the best rapper of all time is. Anyways, we all know that education is important and vital for your future. But when you like it too much, you're a nerd or teacher's pet. What's wrong with loving to learn? I want to like math without people eye rolling when I know the answer. I want to push myself in PE without being called a try hard. I want to interact with my teachers without someone saying I'm a sucker. Everyone is different. So why just the food someone eats, the music they listen to, or assume sexuality based on clothing? I'm different. You are different. We are different. We are different.
Everyone. We change, we learn, we grow. We are different, but we're not always ourselves. Are you gonna wear that? What are you wearing? So we change. Why do we do that? I don't want to. When I was in 5th grade, a teacher didn't like the way I dressed.
I don't want you wearing that.
She said, I didn't understand, so I changed. Why do we do that? Why did she do that? There's power in different. People are scared of different. But if we stay strong, we keep the power. Judging someone based on how they look is not okay. Being you is. When someone says, you are not supposed to. Why? Who said? You know what I say? We are different. And without different, this world would be a lot less interesting. We are different, so embrace it. We are different, so love it. We are different, to teach others how to embrace it and love it as well. People hurt others because they're different. But if we just learn that not everybody is like us, a lot less people would get hurt. In 2020, over 44 transgender people were murdered because they didn't fit someone's idea of what's okay. Just to name one, Monica Diamond, killed. In Charlotte, North Carolina, CEO of Mother of the Year, a pageant honoring LGBTQ mothers. But if we just listened and just tried to understand, a lot more people would be okay today. We are different. To teach others to embrace it and embrace it yourself, because we are different.
Oh, wow.
I became a state, so I checked the textbook. And all it said was that Hawaii was annexed by the United States in 1898 and was granted statehood in 1959. That's all it said. Do you know how Hawaii became a state? I looked online. I found a history.com article about the annexation of Hawaii. And I was shocked at how I've never heard anyone mention that before Americans showed up, Hawaii had its own established monarchy. Did you know that? Did you know that when American traders and missionaries moved to Hawaii, they brought devastating. Did you know that American businessmen and U.S. Marines staged a coup in order to overthrow the Queen and have Hawaii annexed by the United States? Did you know that the United States banned Hawaiians from speaking their native language in 1896? And that ban wasn't lifted until 1986. That's almost 100 years later. But you know what? Now that I know what actually happened, I'm not surprised that it wasn't in the textbook. Because I've noticed that U.S. history textbooks tend to gloss over terrible things that our country has done. Explanations for horrific events will be super vague or worded so that it doesn't seem as bad as it actually was. It's disproportionate and it's one-sided. And I feel lied to because I don't know what actually happened in this country. And I don't think anyone likes being lied to. And what I want is for my teachers to tell me textbooks that try to cover up the truth. And I want the school to encourage my teachers to tell us the story. The good and the bad. The truth is not something to secret. The main focus of this class is to mindlessly memorize names and dates just so that we can keep over the past. Instead of pursuing this can't really be history class. History isn't history. It's not true. And we cannot move forward as a country and make real progress if we don't know what we're moving forward from.
Welcome back to Y.E.P. Our next headline is that full U.S. books are 100% truthful, and all races and ethnicities are fully represented in the media. Now, over to Bill Chop with sports.
Hi, I'm Bill Chop. Thanks, Nick. Today, the Carolina won their 7th straight Super Bowl. Also, it is reported that Shaquille O'Neal is now under 150 pounds. He must have looked at the pizza. By the way, they were very good. Back to you, Janet Lamb.
Thanks, Bill. Oh, I'm receiving breaking news. Jeff Bezos has abandoned his space project and to donate to the homeless. I guess those 2 minutes in space just were enough for him to realize that the moon is not enough.
And back to commercial. I'm strong. I'm a girl. I'm a black girl. I'm from a place where y'all is the main thing. The home of barbecue, sweet tea, and all the way hot dogs. When my family comes together and celebrates, laughs, eats, prays, and tells inside jokes like
The chat page.
and
Ain't that a dumb question?
How
How do you see me in this world?
in this country. Do you think I'm loud? Do you think I like fighting or stealing? If I hadn't told you where I'm from, you might think I'm from the hood or from the project. This country is fit into a world of stereotypes. In 4th grade, I was made fun of having curly hair in box braids, or as they would call it, fake hair. People like this don't realize this is something of my culture. You might think I'm not smart or I'm aggressive. But like Michael Jackson once said, I am a black American. I am proud of my race. I am proud of who I am. I am way better than what you might think of me at first glance. I'm an 11th grade honors student with a 4.0 GPA. I'm a singer, a musician, I'm a theater nerd, a daughter, sister, and an aunt. I'm a black girl. So these are our friends. Almost. This is Mr. Wadowski.
You can call me Mike.
And this is Lori.
It's Dr. Joe.
Is water yeah, I don't know. Hold on. Wait.
Paychecks. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
Hey, did you have such a game last night?
Oh, the game.
Yo,
Oh, it was
total
so good. I
blowout.
literally watched it 10 times over.
Right? Oh my god.
It was amazing.
Hey, I have a new idea for lunch.
I gotta go. Email it to me. Right on the signal on the desk. I gotta go.
Why do you make so much more than
You know, this rug really ties the room together.
here? I've been working here twice as long. Why do you make so much more than me?
You know, me and Boss Man are really close, so
You're in sports, right?
yeah.
Okay. The women's soccer team won the World Cup. I still only make 89 cents for every dollar a man makes.
That's soccer. That has nothing to do with it.
I can't do this right now. I'm going to watch practice.
So I'm here today to talk to you all about health, self-care, and workplace, those fun topics. But specifically how they're related to crunch and crunch culture. Now, let me be upfront. Crunch culture, two very different things. Crunch, anyone doesn't know, is the act of pushing yourself, working long hours, which usually the detriment of yourself. It's what happens right after, oh no, I pushed off this thing until the day of, and now I don't get down to do it. Well, crunch culture is a environment that actively promotes that and normalizes it. It comes from unrealistic expectations and a mindset that hurting yourself for a project is good, actually. So you're regularly working 12 to 16 hours a week, 7 days a week, for months on end. That, that evens out to 100 hours a week. 100 hours a week. And the company can even give you some time. But God forbid you take that time off. Because if you do, then all the work you had falls onto other people, and no one wants to be that guy. But don't worry, it gets worse. The next stage after something called stress test. It's where someone has such a mental breakdown that they just have to take a leave of absence for months. And stress casualty isn't even a new word. It used to be used to describe soldiers with early onset PTSD. The company BioWare has lost count how many times this has happened at their studio. These are horror stories, and no one is talking about it. When they do, thousands of people rush to the giant company's defense, saying that crunch and crunch culture is a good thing and produces better products faster. Honestly, all of this makes me sad. These people working themselves to the bone just to have corporate breathing down their necks and people sending them death threats. They can't release like a product fast enough. But there are some good companies like Nintendo and Respawn that are actively pushing against crunch and crunch culture by pushing back release dates and deadlines and just telling people to go home and take a break from work. So I'll leave you with that bit of hope for change. Thank you for coming to my Y.E.P talk.
As teenagers, we're posed with hard decisions and situations every day. I mean, I would know because I'm a teenager. Whether it's school, family, friends, or even work, things are difficult. But we don't have to go through life alone. I know it's hard. I do. I would know because I've been going to therapy for 8 years and didn't even open up to my therapist until 2 years ago. I was afraid of being judged and feeling vulnerable. At the time I went to therapy, I thought it was embarrassing, which no one should feel embarrassed to ask for help. I opened up to my therapist because I realized it was time, and I knew she could help. It's not easy to go to therapy. But what I know is that doing the work to get better is worth it. When I went into therapy, I didn't think I had any baggage, and I was terribly wrong. In fact, I'm still learning about myself. I wouldn't force anyone to go to therapy, but I will encourage everyone to talk to a friend about your feelings, because keeping things built up inside will tear you down from the inside out. Talking about what frustrates me, what's making me angry, even a simple how my day was makes so much of a difference. It's made me a better student, boyfriend, brother, and son.
Welcome back to Y.E.P. Next up on our headlines is that global warming has ended. Meteorologists predict that temperatures won't exceed 70 degrees in July. Now I can finally go on Instagram without seeing the caption, "It was worth the sunburn." Wildlife biologists have also found a waddle of dodos in the Amazon rainforest. Tune in later to see exactly how that went down with the camera crew.
Sing baseball stadium. That's our softball field. And our baseball team is number one in the state and has been for the past 15 years.
How come the softball field is so much smaller than the baseball field?
You know, I'm not really in charge of that. But like I said, our baseball team has been number one in the state for the past 15 years. Would you like to see our new batting cage?
Hey, ready to practice?
Oh, hey, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Coach Johnson's the worst.
I know, right? During class, he's always talking about how well the road type are limited.
Yeah. Oh, how'd your geography project go?
Terrible.
Why?
I haven't had a lot of time to do everything that's going on.
What did you ask for an extension?
I did, but Mr. Adams won't let me.
He wouldn't let you?
He wouldn't let me.
Why not?
I don't know, but he let Adam, James, and even Barbara get attention.
Not Barbara.
Yeah, he let Barbara. And he was so rude too. You're always in somebody's class. He used to have done like the classmates, he said.
Wait, but I still don't know why he wouldn't let you have an extension.
It's discrimination, Chris. Why the I can't have an extension, but treat students who don't look like me?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize there was that much discrimination in the school. You should go talk to the principal about that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go there right now. The discrimination passed without.
I'm afraid of the world I'm about to step into. Frightened, scared, and afraid of a world where our skin color divides us, states define us. A world where a woman can't make a full dollar compared to a man who is doing the same job. Because in America, winning multiple World Cups isn't enough. The earth keeps but the world or the storm. The polar cap soon off snap. I'm afraid I won't have patience, but they won't have what kind of
a world I can eat the app. I'm afraid of a world where a firearm is in a Walmart near you. A world where public schools have multiple active shooter drills and lockdowns a month. Because in America, we light a few candles, pay a small tribute, and fake. That's not enough. It was never enough and never will be enough. America's gonna have to get used to hearing that. But so do I. I'm stepping into a world that doesn't want me. A world that is already breaking me down. Too fat, too skinny. Are you gonna wear that? Too much, not enough. Yeah. Too dumb for this, but too smart for that.
Nerd.
It's never enough. So, I've never felt enough for this world. So I create my own. Or I'm my dream version of myself. All my happiness is in my head. But then I snap back to reality and realize I'm not entering the big world. I'm already in it. For the moment we start middle school, we can't get a break. Copious amounts of homework, failing art programs, sleep deprivation, wrong teachers in charge, trans students being banned from playing sports, physical bullying, cyberbullying, and school shootings. Us kids have been in the real world our whole lives. So I'm not afraid of the world. I'm afraid to keep going. I am an aerialist.
Yes, you are.
I'm creative.
Yes, you are.
I'm personal.
Yes, you are.
I'm a performer.
Yes, you are.
I'm a musician.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I am talented. Yes, you are.
I am Jewish.
Yes, you are.
I am a tennis player.
Yes, you are.
Look like one.
I don't fear them.
Yes, you are.
Oh.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
I'm Nishama. So you all know that we did a spoken word poem piece at the beginning of the show. Many of you might have known it to be the lyrics to the Beatles song, written and sung by Paul McCartney. But we chose this piece for a reason. We wanted a song that relates to our show. Not many people know why this song was written, so I'm here to tell you. I recently learned Paul McCartney wrote Blackbird after riots during the civil rights movement. He wanted to support the Black Power movement. In fact, the title doesn't refer to Blackbird at all, but Black Girl, since bird is a British term for girls or women. The girls McCartney had in mind were some of the Little Rock Nine. The Little Rock Nine were a group of 9 teens who integrated Central High School in 1957.
The story came out when McCartney met two of these black birds, Thelma Mothership Ware and Elizabeth Egbert. Please join us in singing the song to honor the continued struggle for the civil rights movement. The lyrics are in your program.
Don't play. This one.
Oh my goodness. Okay, one more. Clap. Hi, I'm Sana. And I'm the founder of the Youth Exchange Project. And we have been working, like Stephen said, for the last 2 weeks. And these guys went through an intensive. Was it intense? Okay, so we call it it's an intensive, right? So they worked with us, the Stacy, our super teaching artist, right? Over here also brought in some experts in the field. We have Mason, who hopefully is watching online. He is a spoken word artist, so he helped us create them. I didn't create it; they did. Create the spoken words about who they are. Our goal is to get these teens together from differing backgrounds and have them share their cultures, right? And get to know each other, get to know someone who's a little bit different than we are, right? So it's about exploring themselves and then exploring, who each other are and sharing that information. So we had spoken word artists come, and we talked to a number of people. Jeremy came in and talked about representation in the arts, and in film industry, we talked about Dory, our playwright, zoomed in from the north. She helped form some of our, give impetus to the scenes. She didn't write any of them; they did. And she was an extended, yes, of course, Dory.
And Bridget zoomed in from the other side of the world, right? She came from England and talked about what it is to create and asked them questions about how they were going to put all of this stuff they've been working on its feet so that they could use their voices and share it with an audience and hopefully a fun and exciting and moving way. And I feel like it's very successful. So I wanted to make sure that you all knew that these are their words. And of course, except Blackbird, you know. I told you that. But all of the rest of them,
Yeah.
and had lots of discussions about what they mean and how to bring in and what we're going to do next and what our big concerns are. And there's so many, and yet here we are, and they're uplifting each other. So this is the Youth Exchange Project.
Yeah.
Right. So we this is like Stephen said, this is our 4th year, and we're trying to grow. So what I would like to do is make them bigger, like make more exchange between people in Charlotte and then between cities in the United States, and then eventually,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so we open that dialogue so we can talk to each other, right?
Peace and world domination.
World domination. We need to know each other. Theater will take over, right? So right now, if you, I'd like to open it up, right? If you have questions, I didn't tell them they were going to do this. If you have questions,
Q&A.
right? This is now, please ask.
I just want to say that some of what you all said was hard to hear, and I so appreciate hearing it. And thank you for the strength to say it out loud. Thank you.
Speak to that?
Thanks.
There were some touchy topics in there. Yeah, a lot of touchy topics. But that's the whole point about it, is that we're not hearing from someone else, so we have to speak up ourselves as the people who are experiencing it, and tell everyone else if they're not understanding that this is a big issue.
No, talk about how Shaquille O'Neal lost weight.
So were there conflicts in the room ever?
No.
No, there was fun. People like to sing loud.
There was a lot of learning. There was a very big learning process in the room for some people who may have not experienced the same thing as others. But I wouldn't say there was conflict.
It was very interesting talking about the flaws of my school
And other schools. Right? Yeah. Good. Okay. Yes, sir.
Were the topics presented to you all like a menu, or
No.
were they put on the table by the individual?
We chose our own topic.
Yeah, we had a resource session and we kind of listed like all the topics that we cared about. Our stuff. So we exchanged what we cared about, and then we came up with a theme to base the show off of. We did activities to help form it as well, like who are you, who am I, if I could change the world, and we kind of used those activities that we did throughout the 2 weeks to form the spoken words and school themes and stuff like that.
So it was that, to answer your question. And just some of the stuff that they wrote is in a hallway, right? That they were, that I come from a place, they're hanging on the railings out there, so when you walk by, take a look. Yes.
You guys obviously have a valid opinion of how you all see the world.
My question is to each of you, what would you like to see adults do to correct this whole situation? Because clearly we are missing a mark somewhere. And I like to hear from the youth eyes or ears what it is that you guys can suggest to us as individuals who have the power to vote to get this taken care of. All right. No.
Oh, yeah. You say it in your piece. I want. Okay, so say it again, and then we can open it up. Oh, yeah. I want. It's so long. Right. The whole summer.
And it's right now. But I'm so bad at learning things. Oh my gosh. Just listen and be there for us. And don't what people do, which obviously, for you to make sandwiches. But it's just when we're sad about stuff, don't brush it off. Oh, you don't know the role. You repeat what's up on the internet. Just go back to the phone. Go to
Okay, so specifically from your piece, what did you want the teacher to do?
Well, and also teachers, I just want you to tell us what actually happened. Okay. And there are some teachers who, are very good at that, and but I'm at teachers who are their entire class, they give a textbook, they're like, okay, well, to this class, it's 246, 249, don't talk to me. That's the whole class. I don't want that. I want conversation.
Yeah.
So, I guess just a complete overhaul of the American school system.
A lot of parents act like we don't know what we're talking about. But we've seen everything that you have. We have access to the internet. We know things. I mean, you think sometimes it's not like we're not on of information. Like we know things. Don't protect us. I mean, it's not you protect us. You protect us, but don't protect us from the information that we need to know.
Good. So what did you hear from that? Sorry. What is from this last one?
So what I heard from her is make sure that we're listening to them as far as their point of view to make sure that don't hurt them off. Don't hurt the youth off. Because they're not like whenever I was growing up. I didn't see the whole world. I lived in a child level. And I didn't have conversations about what's going on. We didn't have internet.
Right.
We only had television. News came on from 6 to 7, or maybe 6 to 6:30, and that was it. And we being children, we weren't interested in the news, and that was the only avenue that we had. So the children today, or with the youth today, with the world being so open, and they're able to talk all of this in, they get their own appreciation, their own point of view, and their own vision of what it is. I just wish that the powers that be would have an open ear to not just what graces their palms, but to listen to all who have an opinion and don't just shut it down, not just the youth,
right,
but the world in general.
Well, we have, that's good. Okay, all right.
Now they're all in the pocket. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so thank you. So, did, you okay? Okay.
What do you think
think is the biggest thing you're taking away from this experience?
We literally did that like just before the show. And I mean, at least for me, my answer was to not be so attached to your work and to notice, hey, this isn't good. Let me either revise it or just crash it. It's not that big of a deal. And that, I mean, that was really hard because I did that twice during the intensive where I wrote a whole monologue and then it was like not good.
It wasn't working. That's better than good.
Because in my opinion, when I read over it, like I think I read over it like 20 minutes before the show, I was like, I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know why. But
to take a moment and see something I've done, I'm gonna let it go now, right? That's really hard.
It is.
It is really hard. So, put on your best. All right, who else? Wasn't spoken yet.
I learned a lot about other people's cultures more than mine. Like I learned.
I know one thing that I think everyone learned is that you can't you can't want everyone to like you because that's not possible. So you kind of you have to learn that you won't be liked by everyone, and that's okay. The people that you're trying to reach are gonna actually listen because they're the ones that. Anyways, I think you understand what I'm trying to say, but yeah, okay, right.
You are. Okay, good. You learned, don't be sorry for who you are. I love it. Thank you. So, yeah.
Oh, good. Like we were saying, like we memorized like the lines. Have more.
There's more. There is more. Yeah, I gotta give you that. It's okay. And that's so I'm gonna share a little more about this. So Mason at the beginning of last week, and he has a quote, and it is that you have an obligation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're obligated, right? You as people who are artists and who are examining what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and what are the issues of the world. You have an obligation to share that thought because some people cannot, right? And so these guys came up with really amazingly deep, intense, personal things, issues, ideas, right? And it's one thing to write them down, right? But it's another thing to go in front of people and just let it all hang out. So that was huge. That's so huge. So thank you for living up to your obligation. Right? Thank you. Yeah, go.
Thinking like when somebody asks you a question, you don't want to just a stupid example. But if you go to someone's house and they're like, do you want a cup of water? And you're like, no, because you don't want to be a burden, right?
Yeah.
But don't be afraid. They're offering. Don't be afraid to like speak with your things. Okay.
Don't block your butt. Right, don't block your butt. I like it.
Okay, let me explain. Well, I'll just put it forward. Just think about that. We had to do an activity about
we had to like interview another person and find out like all their deepest secrets. Like I found out about Joey that she has 7 pairs of Vans, like the shoes, in many different colors. And there's more shoes, but it's.
Wow. Thank you. All right. Anybody else have a question? Go ahead.
Needless to say, this was an inspiring moment. My question is to you, has there ever been a time or an opportunity for a Y.E.P group to do it again in front of a, let's say, teacher audience?
We have not.
Okay, we
Yeah.
have one then.
Okay, good. Okay.
Seriously.
Right.
So I'm fortunate and blessed to be a leader of teachers.
Mhm.
And I would love for this group to perform this when teachers come back to school. I would love for this to be the first thing they engage, as opposed to a handbook.
Right.
You know? So,
So we're gonna have to import. Luke is from Baltimore. Right.
7 hours away.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we came down literally just this project,
Yeah.
right? But
Does this stream on YouTube? Does it stay on YouTube?
it is happening right now.
Yeah, because this is
Yeah,
last year. My
it can be recorded.
one from last year is on the.
It goes live.
That's the website. Put it, you know. All right. Anybody else have a question? Okay, so along those lines, it's like allowed to come. I promised that I would come back to this little piece of paper in the middle of your program, right? And you know, Blackbird too. You can always take that and sing that somewhere. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. So yeah, like I said, we are trying to grow the program. We have been very fortunate for the last, well, for all of the years, we have gotten grants from the Arts and Science Council to help produce this. We keep the tuition very low and offer scholarships to anybody who needs it so that we don't have to depend on money from the participants, because then we wouldn't get the diversity that we need to get, right? So we're supported by the Arts and Science Council, but it's a matching grant. So so we could use some matching. So what? Go ahead. So Venmo is right there, right? It goes in, and really no amount is too small. And
Nor is any amount too large.
Right. Not there too large. So to be able to, we've been again blessed to have been partnered. Well, we worked really hard to be partnered with the various organizations that we have been, but we still have a number of expenses. And like I said, I would like to be able to offer this to multiple places, like double it next summer, right? Have one happening here and one happening here and simultaneously, and then mix them together, and then they get 2 groups together. What? Crazy. Anyway, so the way that happens is by donations and support. So I appreciate you bringing your wonderful, amazing, talented, smart, questioning friends, family, people here. Right? It has been an amazing experience, and it just gets not to say anything bad about the former Y.E.Psters in here, but it gets. We were on Zoom last year. Okay, so it gets better and better every time, and we're yeah. So I'm gonna stop. All right. So.